is an incredible film, and Leonardo joins us now. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. How you doing?
Oh, we're very well. I didn't realise you were in London. What the hell are you doing there? Get over here. We're just on the other side of the river.
I think I have a whole day of press here at this hotel, so I apologize for
Well,
not
no,
being
you're more than
there.
welcome, and I'm really pleased that we're first, because you'll be so bored by the end of the day. It's a fabulous film. We've watched it over Christmas, and there's one thing I always thought when you look at what the films that the Academy pick, that they like an actor to go above and beyond, and this must be one of your greatest acting challenges.
I think that it was one of the most difficult experiences for the entire crew and cast by the sheer nature of how Alejandro, our director, set this whole project up. He wanted to really immerse us in nature and give us almost a documentary-like feel to the whole movie-making experience. So we were in sub-zero temperatures, we were in the wilderness for 9 months, and yeah, it was a difficult undertaking, but at the same time, we all kind of looked at it as a very unique adventure, almost like a big voyage or mecca that we were going to go on together.
But also really tough for you, because normally you'd have sort of dialogue to be able to express emotions, but obviously the character spends a huge amount of time in the wilderness on his own. So how did you manage to deal with that?
That was one of the exciting things about doing the project, was the fact that I had very little dialogue. As a matter of fact, I wanted to take as much out as I possibly could, but it was a whole narrative that was pushed along by a character that says next to nothing, and when he does speak, he speaks in Native American languages. So it was fascinating, and like I said, this was such a unique movie-making experience for me that we all just kind of put our trust in our director and adapted every day to what was, you know, unlike any other experience that we ever had.
Well, it's interesting you use the word trust, because I think that's probably the basis of the movie. Centrally, it is all about trust. But for you, you have got to trust a director who's asking you to go through what you were expected to go through.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I think that there was something about the expression on our director Alejandro's face when I first met him. He almost had a hard time articulating why he wanted to submerge himself in the elements like this. But I have a feeling he loved the screenplay, but he wanted to find the poetry about this man's story. Everyone in this movie is trying to survive, from the indigenous people to the fur trappers to even the bear. It's a survival story at its purest form. So through this man's journey, he wanted to find questions about who we are as people. And I saw that in his eyes, and you know, it was something that I wanted to embark on with him. So we all had to put ourselves,
well, it's good of you to say that you say,
in his hands completely.
Okay, Alejandro, yes, I'll be naked in the snow in minus goodness knows what. Yes, I'll eat raw bison liver and get inside a dead horse, and I'll have shooting days where my fingers feel like they're going to fall off, and countless days where I think I'm going to have hypothermia. I mean, that, you know, that's not easy.
No, I wouldn't say it was. It wasn't. I've been asked to talk about fun stories from this whole experience, and it was difficult to come up with one, if any, because
well,
every day was absolutely tough. There were no light-hearted moments, really. We weren't jumping around playing practical jokes with each other off camera. It was pretty much, let's just get the hell out of the cold and eat something warm. That was our primary focus every day after work.
And I mean, you threw yourself into the role, and it does appear from that list of things that Phil just said there that there was nothing that you wouldn't have done if it was desired of him, of his character. Was there ever a moment during filming where you just went, do you know what, that's enough? Or, no, actually, I'm not going to do that?
Well, the great thing is we had this wonderful rehearsal process, which you don't normally get the luxury of having on every single movie, where you get to talk at great length about your character's intentions, your relationship with the camera. Every day was a rehearsal process because they wanted to shoot in natural light. So we had this hour-and-a-half window. And that was one of the things that was so unique about this movie, that I've never done a film like this whatsoever. Every day was almost like rehearsing theater. So you work out your coordination with the other actors, the camera, all the other departments, and then you have this manic hour-and-a-half of natural light where you have to achieve that day's work. And if you don't achieve it, you're back the next day. So it fused us with this kind of tension and this, it was like an adrenaline-filled experience every single day. It was like doing live television, like I'm doing now.
It's the story of Hugh Glass. It's amazing that it doesn't seem to have been told before. This frontiersman, this trader, and a life that really, I suppose, that geographically, that part of America, that time in history, really very little's known about it anyway.
Yeah. Well, Hugh Glass was kind of a campfire legend, but he represented this iconic new American frontiersman. At that time, all of the West was really uncharted. You know, it was an era in time where it was almost like the Amazon. It was lawless. There were indigenous communities. There were French, English, Canadian fur trappers all there to trap the animals and ship them off to Europe for furry hats, basically. But it was this first sort of wave of capitalism out west. So Hugh Glass is almost kind of represents to that era of Americans of man being able to survive or conquer nature. He was the man that was mauled by a bear and crawled through hundreds of miles of frozen wilderness. So it's this story that's been told from generation to generation of our ability to adapt and our ability to, you know, adapt to all different circumstances in life. So Hugh Glass was, there was very little known about him, to tell you the truth, very little, but this was more about, you know, one man's quest for survival and what the things that he draws upon on a personal basis.
There must have been, and I know you've said this in the past, we've had 4 nominations for the Academy Award, that you when you're making a movie, the last thing you're thinking about is an Oscar. There must have been times when your fingers are falling off that you thought, I hope I get something for this. I mean, congratulations on the Golden Globe, but I mean, you know, surely this has got to be the lucky year for you.
Well, the thing that I do know about that is completely beyond my control at this point. When I get asked these questions, it's interesting because that's not why you do the work. You know, you do the work honestly because you love making movies and you want to look back and have a filmography that you're proud of, and you know when you're on set you have to give everything you possibly can while you're there. But of course, being recognized by your peers and all that other stuff that happens, it's kind of the cherry on the cake, so to speak. But, well, you know, all the work for me has been done. I've done everything I can possibly do, so it's all up to you to decide whether it's worthy of being seen or talked about or awarded.
Well, this is the one you deserve. You're going to take your mum to the ceremony? You've taken it in the past, haven't you?
I'm sure she'll be first on my list. Yeah.
And also, we were just wondering finally whether, because it went viral, if Lady Gaga was to walk past you and to brush your arm, whether you would look quite so surprised this time round.
We were laughing about that afterwards. I actually had no idea who was passing me, what was going on, but that was a funny little bit that went around. We were laughing at it.
Were you surprised it went viral?
Yeah, I was. It's amazing what goes viral these days. I guess I'm of a different generation now because I have no idea where this stuff comes from or how it's even captured.
Good luck. Listen, yes. It is a fantastic movie. You are amazing in it, and hopefully this will be your year for the Oscar. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys very much. Thank you.
Thank you.